What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. And we haven't done this video in the last week or two because I was sick and it was one of the videos I felt like I could skip. But I'm feeling better now. We're trying to get back to a full schedule of videos, and this week is going to be a little bit slow anyway because the Seahawks didn't have a game. So we're going to do it the rooting guide post-mortem. There was a lot of football last week, even if the Seahawks didn't play. So let's take some time to talk about it. What I can tell you is that it was a pretty productive week. The Seahawks got a lot of what they wanted and only a little of what they didn't. And big picture wise, and we will take a look at the big picture at the end of this video, because I think a lot of this stuff is pretty self-evident. Things are starting to really winnow down in the NFC to where I think that we as Seahawks fans can be confident that this is going to be a playoff team. Obviously you want more than that, but it's winnowing down. Be right back. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, welcome back. So we went over some of this in the video I made on Sunday, but just to reiterate it in a little bit more of a focused manner, the Seahawks got a lot of what they wanted to see this last week. The Vikings got crushed. Vikings got blown out. At this point, the Vikings are in a little bit of a weird spot where I think they pushed in so aggressively during the offseason that they feel like they got to keep going, but it's pretty clear they don't have a lot of confidence in what they have right now. I mean, they were forcing Carson Wentz to play when his body was falling apart, seemingly because they have that little faith in J.J. McCarthy, which, I mean, we'll see what happens when McCarthy gets out there, but that does not bode well for what we're likely going to see from him. Because I don't think those coaches on the Vikings staff are dummies. Far from it. I think they're actually really, really good. So, we got that. Dolphins, look, it's complicated, right? This result, the Falcons getting destroyed by the Dolphins, is a disaster in terms of that first-round pick that the Rams are getting. It is worth noting, though, that there is some silver lining in the Falcons not being very good this year because they're not a threat for the postseason. Now, I think that the trade-off is pretty clear. I would much rather have the Falcons be good and not give the Rams some top pick than have the Falcons be bad to clear the way for the Seahawks. Especially when I think, to be perfectly honest, I would trust the Seahawks to make the playoffs even if the Falcons were better. But there is a silver lining there. I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't exist. Jets beat the Bengals, which doesn't really matter, but I mean, the Jets should still be in fire sale mode, and maybe that loss will push the Bengals to be as well. I think that there are a few things in this league that are a clear wake-up call, and losing to the Jets at home should be one of them. So very possible that the Bengals now go, okay, we're giving away Logan Wilson. And that's something I think the Seahawks should at least consider. Maybe they'll be willing to give up. I mean, there isn't really a lot else. Obviously, there's Trey Hendrickson. They seem to dig in their heels with Hendrickson, but maybe that game changed their mind. I don't know. It's notable. Maybe we have another team entering the fire sale conversation. Browns Patriots, didn't really care about that one that much, although the Browns remain in likely imminent fire sale mode. Giants Eagles, technically we wanted the Giants to win, but it didn't really matter that much, and it does push the Giants further into fire sale mode. Bills Panthers got exactly what we needed here, kind of a return to normalcy after a couple of bad games from the Bills and the Panthers kind of sparking to life there. Did not need Carolina getting involved here, and after they get blown out at home like this, it doesn't seem like we're going to have to worry too much about them. So, yeah, that was actually low-key significant. And we'll talk about why at the end of this video, but the Panthers looking this bad, key to this week of football for the Seahawks. We got a Bears loss, and we didn't even have Lamar Jackson out there. The Ravens played Tyler Huntley, still got it done. And the Bears, to me, are the team that is kind of like a complete enigma. I don't know what they are. I don't know what the Bears are. I don't know if they are... I don't know if they're going to find a way to be good in any area or bad in any area from each week. It feels like they are a random number generator black box every week. You don't know what they're going to be every game. We talked about the Niners-Texans. We all know that was exactly what the doctor ordered. We needed it, and we got it. Texans beat the Niners, pushed the Niners out of first place. And like I said, I know that Niners team has a very soft schedule the rest of the way, but it would not surprise me, it would not shock me if they just needed one loss to kind of knock them over and push them into a place where they are... They just kind of start losing games they should win, and maybe they fade by the end of the year. I think it's on the table. That schedule is really easy, though, so it could go either way. We wanted Tampa Bay to lose, I guess, but there was never any real hope there. And I guess it does push the Saints into further fire sale mode, which could benefit the Seahawks. Made a video about the Saints at the trade deadline yesterday. Cowboys-Broncos, good result here. I needed the Cowboys to get pushed down, didn't need them thinking they were suddenly some kind of a playoff contender. And, I mean, at this point, it's hard to imagine any team with a defense that bad, and not just in the top-line stats, but on every level, is a real threat to do much of anything. So, that was good. Needed to see that. Colts-Titans, whatever. Packers-Steelers... Big meltdown here. I mean, it looked like Pittsburgh was good. It looked like Pittsburgh was in control of this game. They looked good at halftime. Everything was going fine. And then Green Bay just started doing nothing but scoring touchdowns. So that was a little unfortunate, granted. But last night we got Commanders and Chiefs. Got what we wanted. Commanders, backs against the wall this upcoming week, which... Let's be clear here. That is a little bit of a red flag. You don't want to be playing a game against a team that is kind of on their last strike. But it is what it is. And by the way, it looks like there's a very good chance we get the Commanders without not only Jaden Daniels, but now Terry McLaurin might miss that game. So desperation or not, you got to do what you got to do. And that's a game that we'll see what happens the rest of this week. But there's a very good chance Seattle should be basically getting handed a win based off the injury situation of the Commanders. So that's at least on some level good, because here's the thing. You take a look at the National Football Conference right now. We're just running out of teams that are a realistic playoff threat. Like, the cutoff is starting to push up here. And it depends on your perspective, of course, with some of these teams. I don't doubt that. But how many of these teams do you consider to be like a threat to go to the playoffs? Obviously, you have your top 6 teams, right? The Packers, the Eagles, the Buccaneers, the Seahawks, the Lions, the Rams. Those are all clearly good teams. They have flaws in some areas, but those are 6 teams are all clearly quite good. They're all 5-2 or better, and they are all clearly playoff caliber based off what we've seen so far this year. And then after that, it's like, okay, the Niners, they have a negative point differential. Let's think about that for a second. They have a negative point differential, despite being 5-3, right? They've got all these injuries, and even with their very soft remaining schedule, I think it's fair to wonder if this is just a mediocre team that is likely to limp to a mediocre end result. So you got that. The Bears, again, they're a complete enigma. I have no idea what the Bears are going to do from week to week. The Bears, good offensively, good defensively, good running the ball, good stopping the run. I don't know what I'm going to get. I feel like they're completely unpredictable from week to week. So maybe, but it feels very random. Carolina, hard to take them seriously right now. They had a chance to kind of announce themselves to the world this last week, and they got completely drilled. Teams like the Cowboys, Falcons, Vikings, really hard to take them seriously now. It's like you're running out of teams. Remember, 7 teams from this list have to make the playoffs. 7 of them. And right now I see 6 that are clearly good. I see one that I think is good, but is good mostly just because they have an easy schedule. And then I see one team that is a complete enigma, and that's it. Like the rest of the teams, like I don't think the Panthers are good. I think that the Panthers are benefiting from circumstance, and I think we learned something about them on Sunday. And then the rest of these teams are just too critically flawed. I can't take the Cowboys seriously with that defense. I can't take the Falcons seriously after they got blown out by Miami. Vikings think so little of their quarterback that they forced a broken Carson Wentz to play these last 3 weeks. Washington's regressed on both sides of the football. It's just one of those things where it's like, we're starting to figure out who the real contenders are in the NFC. Seattle is among them. And the chances of any of these teams getting bumped out is low because it just doesn't feel like anybody's going to step up and do it. It's kind of like how in the AFC right now, it seems like the Chiefs are vulnerable and somebody could really knock them off. Doesn't feel like anybody's going to step up and do it, though. Like somebody has to actually be there to benefit from the downfall, or else the downfall doesn't really happen. All right, so that's your rooting guide post-mortem. I will see you guys later today. Go Hawks. See you soon.